Smile for the camera, husband. I blinked awake to find a stranger's face 2 inches from mine, grinning like a maniac while holding up a phone. Flash. What the? I tried to sit up, but my head exploded with pain and I fell back onto the softest pillow I'd ever felt in my life. Where the hell was I? Good morning, sleeping beauty. The stranger was still talking, way too cheerfully for whatever ungodly hour this was. I ordered room service. Hope you like pancakes because I got like 12 orders. I wasn't sure what you'd want, so I just ordered everything. I forced my eyes open properly and immediately regretted every life choice that led me to this moment. The room was huge, like presidential suite huge, with floor-to-ceiling windows showing the Las Vegas Strip in broad daylight. And standing next to the bed wearing nothing but black silk pajama pants was the most gorgeous man I'd ever seen in my life. Tall, probably 6'2", with perfectly styled dark hair even though he just woke up, sharp cheekbones, full lips, and eyes so dark they looked black. He looked familiar, but my brain was too foggy to figure out why. Who are you? I croaked out. Your husband, apparently. He laughed and held up his left hand where a platinum wedding band gleamed. And you're mine. Congrats to us. I looked at my own left hand. There was a matching ring. What? I shot up too fast and the room spun violently. No, no, no. This isn't happening. This can't be happening. Oh, it's happening. He sat on the edge of the bed, entirely too comfortable with this insane situation. We got married last night at the Little White Chapel. Elvis officiated. I have the photos and videos. Want to see? No. Yes. I grabbed his phone when he offered it. The first photo showed me and the stranger standing in front of an Elvis impersonator, both holding bouquets of plastic flowers, both clearly drunk off our asses and grinning like idiots. I swiped to the next photo. We were kissing at the altar. Next photo. Me sitting on his lap in what looked like a limousine, his arms around my waist. Next photo. Us making out against a hotel room door. Oh my God! I whispered. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There's a video too. He took the phone back and pressed play. Drunk me appeared on screen, swaying and pointing at the camera. Mom. Dat. Drunk me slurred. I know you said I'd never find anyone, but look, I got married. To him. The camera panned to show the gorgeous stranger, also drunk, waving enthusiastically. I'm Daniel, drunk stranger announced. And I just married the cutest guy in Vegas. Aren't you jealous? Both drunk versions of us dissolved into giggles and the video ended. I stared at the blank screen in absolute horror. So, Daniel said cheerfully, I'm thinking we should probably figure out how to get an annulment since we were both drunk and it was a mistake, unless you want to stay married. I'm flexible either way. Annulment, I nearly shouted. Definitely annulment. Right now. Immediately. Cool, cool, cool. Daniel nodded. Except there's one tiny problem. What problem? He pulled out his phone again and showed me a news article. The headline read, Daniel Rivers secretly marries mystery man in Vegas. Below it was a photo of us leaving the chapel, Daniel's arm around my waist, both of us laughing. Who's Daniel Rivers? I asked, confused. Daniel blinked at me. You're joking. No. You don't know who I am? Should I? Daniel stared at me for a long moment, then started laughing so hard he fell backward on the bed. Oh my God. This is perfect, he wheezed. This is absolutely perfect. What's perfect? What's happening? Daniel sat up, wiping tears from his eyes. I'm Daniel Rivers, he said. I'm an actor. I was just cast as the lead in the biggest action franchise in Hollywood. The first movie comes out in 3 months. My publicist has been building this whole image of me as America's eligible bachelor. My stomach dropped. And you just married a random stranger in Vegas. Exactly. Daniel grinned. If this gets out, if people find out I got drunk married to someone I just met, my entire career is over. The studio will drop me. I'll lose the franchise. Everything I've worked for goes up in smoke. So we get it annulled quietly, I said, before anyone finds out details. Too late. Daniel showed me his phone again. There were hundreds of articles now. Mystery husband. Who did Daniel Rivers marry? Inside Daniel Rivers' secret Vegas wedding. Daniel Rivers' new husband. What we know so far. They're trying to figure out who you are, Daniel explained. My publicist is having a full meltdown. The studio is threatening to sue me for breach of contract. And my manager says if I get this annulled too quickly, it'll look fake and hurt my image even worse. I felt panic rising in my chest. So what do we do? Daniel looked at me with those dark eyes and smiled. We stay married. What? Just for a year? Daniel said quickly. Long enough that it looks real. Long enough that when we divorce, it seems like a normal relationship that just didn't work out. My publicist already has a plan. This is insane. I'll pay you, Daniel interrupted. $10,000 a month. Plus you live here in my house, all expenses covered. After 1 year, we get a quiet divorce and you walk away with $120,000. I stared at him. That was more money than I'd made in my entire life. Why would you do this? I asked suspiciously. Because getting this annulled now destroys my career, Daniel said seriously. But if we play this right, if we sell it as a whirlwind romance that just moved fast, I keep the franchise and you get enough money to do whatever you want for a year. This is crazy. Completely crazy, Daniel agreed. But also mutually beneficial? I thought about my life back home. My shitty apartment with 4 roommates. My dead-end job at a call center. My massive student loans. My complete lack of literally anything resembling a future. 1 year, I clarified. 1 year, Daniel confirmed. We convince everyone the marriage is real. Then we amicably divorce. You get your money. I keep my career. Everyone wins. I looked at the wedding ring on my finger. Then at Daniel, who was watching me hopefully. Then at the Las Vegas Strip outside the window. I don't even know your full name, I said. Daniel Rivers, he repeated. And you are? Finn, I said. Finn Cooper. Well, Finn Cooper. Daniel extended his hand. Do we have a deal? I looked at his hand for a long moment. This was absolutely insane. This was gonna blow up in my face spectacularly. But $120,000. I shook his hand. Deal. Daniel's grin was brilliant. Excellent. Welcome to married life, husband. That's when someone knocked on the door. Daniel, open up. We need to do damage control now. A woman's voice, sharp and commanding. That's my publicist, Daniel whispered. Just follow my lead, okay? Wait, what? But Daniel was already opening the door. A woman in her 40s stormed in, impeccably dressed, phone in one hand and tablet in the other. Daniel Rivers, you absolute idiot. She stopped dead when she saw me. Who is this? Miranda. Meet Finn Cooper, Daniel said cheerfully, throwing his arm around my shoulders. My husband. Miranda's eye twitched. Your what? Husband. We got married last night. Isn't it romantic? Romantic, Miranda repeated flatly. Daniel, you got drunk married to a stranger the week before your press tour starts. Not a stranger, Daniel protested. We've been secretly dating for months. Right, honey? He looked at me expectantly. Oh God, we were really doing this. Right? I said weakly. Months. Very secret. Miranda looked between us like we'd lost our minds. You expect me to sell this? She demanded. You expect me to convince the world that you've been in a secret relationship when there are 0 photos, 0 sightings, and 0 evidence? That's why it was secret, Daniel said brightly. Miranda closed her eyes and took a deep breath. I need coffee, she muttered. So much coffee. And possibly alcohol. She pulled out her phone and started typing furiously. Okay, she said. Here's what's going to happen. Daniel, you're going to post a statement on Instagram announcing your marriage. Something romantic but vague. Finn, I need your social media passwords. Why? I asked nervously. Because we're scrubbing anything embarrassing before the vultures find you, Miranda said bluntly. What's your Instagram handle? Finn Cooper 23. Miranda typed it in and her face went pale. How many followers do you have? Like 200. And your last post is from 3 years ago. Of your cat. Mr. Whiskers is very photogenic, I said defensively. Miranda looked like she wanted to cry. This is fine, she said in a voice that suggested nothing was fine. This is fine. We'll say you're private. You don't like social media. Very mysterious. But I do like social media, I just never post. Not anymore you don't, Miranda interrupted. From now on, you're a mysterious, private person who values authenticity over internet clout. Got it, I guess. Good. She turned back to Daniel. You two need to sell this. And I mean sell it. Photos together. Cute captions. The works. Can you do that? Daniel looked at me with a grin. Oh, I think we can manage that. And that's how I, Finn Cooper, 24-year-old nobody with $40 in my bank account, became fake married to one of Hollywood's rising stars. This was either going to be the best year of my life, or the biggest disaster in human history. Probably both. I woke up to my phone exploding with notifications. Literally hundreds of them. Messages from people I hadn't talked to in years. Missed calls from my mom, texts from my roommates asking if I was alive. And one message from Miranda that just said, check Twitter. Now, I opened Twitter and my blood went cold. The top trending topic was hashtag Daniel River scandal. I clicked on it with shaking hands. The first tweet was from a gossip account with millions of followers. Breaking, Daniel Rivers' husband Finn Cooper was arrested 3 years ago for assault. Court records attached. Is America's new heartthrob married to a violent criminal? Below it were screenshots of an arrest record. My arrest record. No, 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 no. I was out of bed and running across the hall to Daniel's room before I could think. I burst through his door without knocking. Daniel was on the phone, pacing, his face darker than I'd ever seen it. I don't care what they're saying. Find out who leaked it. He stopped when he saw me. I'll call you back. He hung up. We stared at each other. Daniel, I can explain. Did you assault someone? He asked quietly. Yes, but why didn't you tell me? His voice was still calm, but I could hear the anger underneath. Because it's not what it looks like. I was shaking now. I was 19, I was at a bar, and this guy wouldn't leave my friend alone. He grabbed her. She said no multiple times, and when he wouldn't let go I shoved him. He fell and hit his head on a table. They arrested me because he pressed charges and his dad was a lawyer. Daniel's expression didn't change. The charges were dropped, I continued desperately. It's all in the records. But the arrest still shows up when people search my name. And you didn't think I should know this before I married you? Daniel said. We were drunk when we got married. I didn't exactly have time to disclose my entire criminal history. You've had 3 days since then. I was going to tell you, I shouted. I just didn't know how. Daniel's phone rang again. He ignored it. My publicist says we have 2 options, he said coldly. 1, we tell the truth. Explain what actually happened. Hope people believe you. Or we annul the marriage today. I release a statement saying I was deceived, didn't know about your past, and we go our separate ways. My stomach dropped. You're kicking me out? I'm giving you a choice, Daniel corrected. Fight this scandal with me, or walk away before it gets worse. There's no real choice there. There is. Daniel stepped closer. Because if you stay, this gets ugly. The media will dig into everything. Every mistake you've ever made. Every embarrassing moment. They'll talk to your exes, your old teachers, your childhood neighbors. They'll find every piece of dirt and put it on display. I don't care. Your MOM will be harassed, Daniel interrupted. Your friends will be offered money for stories about you. Your life will be torn apart and examined under a microscope. And at the end of it, they still might not believe you. I felt tears burning behind my eyes. So you want me to leave? I want you to understand what you're signing up for, Daniel said. If you stay, I'll fight for you. I'll hire the best lawyers. I'll get character witnesses. I'll do everything I can to clear your name. But it won't be easy and it won't be fun. Why would you do that for me? I asked. We barely know each other. Daniel's expression softened slightly. Because you're my husband. Fake or not, that means something to me. His phone rang again. This time he answered. What? When? Are you serious? His face went pale. I'll be right there. He hung up and looked at me with something like panic. What happened? I asked. The guy you allegedly assaulted 3 years ago just gave an exclusive interview, Daniel said. He's claiming you attacked him unprovoked. Says you're violent and dangerous. And he's suing us both for defamation. What? We need to go to Miranda's office. Now. Daniel was already pulling on clothes. And Finn? Whatever happens next, don't talk to anyone. Not reporters, not friends, not your mother. Nobody. Understood. I nodded numbly. This was a nightmare. This was my worst nightmare come to life. Miranda's office was chaos. She had 3 assistants running around, her phone rang constantly, and there were at least 6 laptops open showing different news sites. Sit, she ordered when we walked in. We sat. Okay, Miranda said, pulling up something on her tablet. I've seen the interview. It's bad. He's very convincing. Says Finn attacked him for no reason. That Finn has anger issues. That he's worried for Daniel's safety. That's a lie, I protested. He grabbed my friend. I was defending her. Can you prove that? Miranda asked. My friend was there. She saw everything. Would she testify to that? In court? Under oath? With cameras on her. I thought about Sarah, who'd moved to Portland and was now married with 2 kids. I don't know. We need proof, Miranda said. Security footage, witnesses, something concrete. It was 3 years ago. The bar probably deleted their footage. Then we need another angle. Miranda pulled up more screens. Daniel, we need you to do damage control. Press statement, TV interview, something where you defend Finn. Done, Daniel said immediately. And Finn, I need everything. The police report, the court dismissal, any texts or emails from that night, anything that proves your version of events. I'll get it all, I promised. Good. Miranda's phone rang again. One more thing. This asshole who's suing you? His name is Brett Caldwell. Does that name mean anything to you? I froze. Finn. Daniel was looking at me. Do you know him? He's my ex-boyfriend, I whispered. The room went silent. I'm sorry, Miranda said slowly. You're what? We dated for 6 months when I was 19, I explained. It was toxic. He was controlling and jealous. When I broke up with him, he got drunk and showed up at the bar where my friend and I were hanging out. He grabbed her to get to me, tried to make me jealous. When I pushed him away, he fell. And then he pressed charges against you, Daniel finished. Yes. So this isn't just about the assault, Miranda said. This is revenge. He's using your marriage to Daniel to hurt you. He always said I'd regret leaving him, I said quietly. Daniel's jaw clenched. We're going to destroy him. Daniel, Miranda started. I said we're going to destroy him, Daniel repeated, his voice ice cold. Get me everything on Brett Caldwell. Every parking ticket, every bad review, every person he's ever wronged. I want ammunition. That's not how this works. I don't care. Daniel stood up. Nobody threatens my husband and gets away with it. The conviction in his voice made my chest ache. Daniel, you don't have to. Yes, I do. He looked at me with fierce determination. You defended your friend. Now I'm defending you. That's what partners do. We're not really partners, aren't we? Daniel challenged. Because it feels pretty real to me right now. Miranda cleared her throat. As touching as this is, we have work to do. Daniel, I'm setting up interviews for tomorrow. Finn, I need you to write down everything you remember from that night. Everything. Okay. And both of you, she gave us a serious look. Prepare for this to get worse before it gets better. Brett clearly wants attention. He's going to milk this for everything it's worth. She was right. By that evening, Brett had done 3 more interviews, each one more dramatic than the last. He cried on camera. He showed old photos of his injuries. He painted himself as a victim who'd been terrorized by a violent person who was now somehow married to a celebrity. My phone wouldn't stop ringing with unknown numbers. My mom called crying, asking what was happening. My old roommates were being offered money for stories. It was a media feeding frenzy. Turn it off, Daniel said, taking my phone from my hands. You don't need to see this. We were back at his house, sitting in the living room while the world imploded outside. I'm ruining your career, I said miserably. You're not. The studio is going to drop you. Your franchise is gone. All because you got drunk married to the wrong person. Hey! Daniel tilted my chin up, forcing me to meet his eyes. You're not the wrong person. Daniel! I mean it. His thumb brushed across my cheekbone. Yeah, this is messy. Yeah, it's complicated. But I don't regret marrying you. You should. But I don't. He smiled slightly. You know what I think? What? I think maybe this wasn't an accident, Daniel said quietly. Maybe we were supposed to find each other in that Vegas chapel. Maybe all of this is happening for a reason. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me, I admitted. Yeah. Daniel's smile widened. Wait till you hear my wedding vows at the renewal ceremony we're definitely not having. I laughed despite everything. There it is, Daniel said softly. I was wondering if I'd see you smile today. How are you so calm about this? Because I've been through worse, Daniel said. And because I know the truth. You were protecting someone. That makes you brave, not violent. The internet doesn't think so. The internet doesn't know you. Daniel's hand cupped my face. But I'm starting to. And what I'm learning, I really like. My breath caught. Daniel. I know. Fake marriage. Professional boundaries. He dropped his hand. But for the record, if this were real, I'd be the luckiest guy alive. Before I could respond, his phone rang. Miranda. Daniel answered on speaker. You're not going to believe this, she said, but I found something. Security footage from the bar that night. The owner kept backup files. And Finn? It shows everything. Brett grabbing your friend. You pushing him away. All of it. I felt tears of relief streaming down my face. Send it to me, Daniel said immediately. Already did. I'm releasing it to the media tonight with a statement from the bar owner, confirming Finn's version of events. Thank you, Miranda. Don't thank me yet. This doesn't make the lawsuit go away. But it does clear Finn's name publicly. She hung up. Daniel turned to me with the biggest grin. See? I told you we'd fight this. Thank you, I whispered. For believing me. For defending me. For what? For making me feel like I matter. Something shifted in Daniel's expression. Finn, you? His phone rang again. Different number this time. He answered. Hello? Yes, this is Daniel. What? His face went white. When? How bad? I'll be right there. He hung up and stood abruptly. What's wrong? I asked. That was the hospital, Daniel said, his voice shaking. My mother collapsed. She's in the ICU. They don't know if she's going to make it. The hospital was cold and too bright and smelled like disinfectant and fear. Daniel hadn't said a word during the entire drive. Just gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles turned white. We burst through the ICU doors and Daniel's father was there, looking 10 years older than he had at dinner just days ago. Dad, what happened? Daniel demanded. Heart attack, James said, his voice hoarse. She was watching the news, saw the stories about you and Finn, got upset, and then she collapsed. Daniel stumbled backward like he'd been hit. This is my fault, he whispered. No, James said firmly. This isn't. She had a heart attack because of the scandal, Daniel interrupted, his voice breaking. Because I got drunk married and brought chaos into this family. Daniel, I started. Don't. He pulled away from my touch. Just don't. A doctor appeared, looking grave. Mr. Rivers? Your mother is stable for now, but the next 24 hours are critical. You can see her, but only one visitor at a time. Daniel disappeared into his mother's room without looking back. I stood there with James in awkward silence. I'm sorry, I said finally. I never meant for any of this to happen. James looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. Did my son tell you why he went to Vegas? He asked. No. He went to forget about someone, James said. A man he'd been in love with for over a year. Someone who didn't love him back. My stomach dropped. I didn't know. Of course you didn't, James said, not unkindly. Daniel doesn't talk about his feelings. He bottles them up, pretends everything is fine, and then does something reckless like marrying a stranger in Vegas. Mr. Rivers, I'm not blaming you, James interrupted. I'm explaining. My son has been hurt before, badly, and he has this self-destructive streak where he sabotages good things because he doesn't think he deserves them. Why are you telling me this? Because I saw how he looked at you at dinner, James said. The way he touched you, defended you, that wasn't acting. That was real. My chest tightened. It's complicated. Love usually is. Before I could respond, Daniel came out of his mother's room, his eyes red. She wants to see you, he said to me. Me? Why? I don't know. Daniel's voice was hollow. But she asked for you specifically. I walked into the hospital room with my heart pounding. Victoria Rivers looked small and fragile in the hospital bed, hooked up to monitors and IVs. But her eyes were sharp when they landed on me. Sit, she said, her voice weak but commanding. I sat in the chair next to her bed. Mrs. Rivers, I'm so sorry. Stop apologizing, she interrupted. I didn't have a heart attack because of you. But the news was the trigger, not the cause, Victoria said. I've had heart problems for years. I just hide them well. She took a shaky breath. I need to tell you something about my son, she continued, and I need you to listen carefully. Okay. Daniel has spent his entire life trying to be perfect, Victoria said. Perfect son, perfect student, perfect actor. He thinks if he's perfect enough, people won't leave him. I don't understand. When Daniel was 16, he fell in love with his best friend, Victoria explained. Told him how he felt. The boy rejected him viciously, outed him to the entire school, and then moved away. Daniel was devastated. He blamed himself, thought if he'd been better, smarter, more successful, the boy would have loved him back. My heart ached for teenage Daniel. Since then, he's never let anyone close, Victoria continued. He dates casually, keeps everything surface level, and runs the moment things get real. But you, she looked at me intently, you're different. We barely know each other. He married you, Victoria said simply. Drunk or not, some part of him chose you. And now he's terrified. Of what? Of this being real, Victoria said. Of falling in love with someone who might leave when things get hard. And right now, things are very hard. I thought about Daniel's face in the waiting room, the way he'd pulled away from me. What do? I asked. That depends, Victoria said. Is this fake for you? Or has it become real? I opened my mouth to say it was fake, that it was just a business arrangement, that I was only here for the money. But the lie wouldn't come. It's real, I admitted quietly. I don't know when it happened, but somewhere between the photo shoots and the family dinners and him defending me to the world, it became real. Victoria smiled. Then you fight for him, because he won't fight for himself. What if he doesn't want me to? He does, Victoria said with certainty. He's just too scared to admit it. I found Daniel on the hospital roof, sitting on a bench, staring at the city lights. You're not supposed to be up here, I said, sitting next to him. Neither are you. We sat in silence for a moment. Your mom is going to be okay, I said finally. I know. She told me about what happened when you were 16. Daniel's jaw clenched. She had no right. She was trying to help. By telling you I'm emotionally damaged? Daniel laughed bitterly. Great help. By helping me understand why you push people away, I corrected. I don't. Yes, you do, I interrupted. You did it at the house earlier, and you're doing it right now. Daniel stood up abruptly. You don't know what you're talking about. Then explain it to me. I stood too. Tell me why you're so determined to keep me at arm's length. Because this isn't real, Finn, Daniel shouted. We got drunk married in Vegas. We have a contract. In 5 months, you're going to take your money and leave, and I'm going to be alone again. What if I don't want to leave? The words hung between us. Daniel stared at me. What What if I don't want to leave? I repeated, stepping closer. What if somewhere between the photo shoots and your mother's threats and you defending me against my psycho ex, I actually fell for you? You don't mean that. Yes, I do. I grabbed his face, forcing him to look at me. I'm terrified, Daniel. I'm terrified because you're this perfect, successful, gorgeous man and I'm just some nobody from nowhere. But I'm also falling in love with you and I don't know how to stop. Fin. So tell me right now, I demanded. Is this fake for you? Or has it become real? Daniel's eyes searched mine for a long moment. Then he kissed me. Not gentle, not tentative, but desperate and hungry and absolutely real. His hands tangled in my hair, pulling me closer, and I melted into him like I'd been waiting my whole life for this moment. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing hard. It's real, Daniel whispered against my lips. God help me. It's been real since the moment you pushed me out of bed to look at those wedding photos. I laughed, tears streaming down my face. We're idiots. Complete idiots. Daniel agreed, kissing me again. His phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. Answer it, I said. It might be about your mom. Daniel pulled out his phone and his expression shifted. It's Miranda, he said, putting it on speaker. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, Miranda said, and she sounded almost gleeful. Everything is very right. Brett Caldwell just withdrew his lawsuit. What? Why? Because after we released that security footage, 3 other people came forward with stories about Brett assaulting them, Miranda explained. Turns out he has a pattern of getting drunk, getting violent, and blaming his victims. One of them is pressing charges. Brett's lawyer dropped him, and now Brett is in damage control mode. I felt weak with relief. It's over. The lawsuit is over, Miranda confirmed. The scandal will die down in a few days, especially now that public opinion has swung in your favor. People love a good redemption story. Thank you, Miranda, Daniel said. Don't thank me. Thank Finn for having video evidence, Miranda said. Oh, and Daniel? The studio called. They want you both at the premiere next week. They think the real love story angle will be great publicity. She hung up. Daniel looked at me with a grin. Hear that? We're great publicity. We're a disaster, I corrected. A beautiful disaster. Daniel pulled me back into his arms. So, husband, now that this is real, we should probably discuss terms. Terms? Yeah. Like, do we still divorce in 5 months? Or do we try to make this actually work? I pretended to think about it. What are the benefits of staying married to you? Unlimited access to my house, my money, and my exceptionally attractive body, Daniel said seriously. Tempting. Also, I'm very good at making breakfast. Are you? No, but I'll learn for you. Daniel kissed my forehead. I'll learn anything for you. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. Wait till you hear my actual wedding vows, Daniel said. The ones I'm going to say when we renew our vows properly. With our families there. When you're choosing me for real. I'm choosing you now, I said. Yeah. Daniel's smile was brilliant. Yeah. He kissed me again. Slower this time, sweeter, and I felt something click into place. This was right. This was real. This was, get a room. We broke apart to find a nurse glaring at us from the roof access door. Daniel called out, not sounding sorry at all. This area is restricted, the nurse scolded. We're leaving. Daniel grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the door. We ran down the stairs like teenagers, laughing the whole way. Your mom is going to kill us for making out on the hospital roof, I said. Worth it, Daniel said, pulling me into another kiss at the landing. We should go check on her. In a minute. Daniel's hands cupped my face. I just need 1 more minute of this being real. It's real, I promised. It's all real. And it was. Somewhere between Vegas and fake photo shoots and hospital roofs, we'd stumbled into something true. Something messy and complicated and absolutely perfect. I love you, Daniel said suddenly. My heart stopped. What? I love you, he repeated. I know it's fast and crazy and we barely know each other. But I love you. Finn Cooper. and I want to try to make this work. For real. I kissed him instead of answering with words. Because some things didn't need words. Some things just needed this, hands and lips and hearts beating in sync. When we finally made it back to Victoria's room, she took one look at us and smiled. "About time," she said. James laughed. "Victoria, you just had a heart attack. Maybe don't get excited." "My son is finally happy," Victoria said. "I'm allowed to be excited." She looked at us with knowing eyes. "So, is this real now?" Daniel squeezed my hand. "Yeah, Mom. It's real." "Good." Victoria settled back into her pillows. "Then I expect grandbabies within 2 years." Daniel's face went red. I laughed so hard I nearly cried. And standing there in that hospital room with Daniel's hand in mine and his family accepting us and everything finally falling into place, I realized something. I'd come to Vegas looking for a fun weekend. I'd found a husband, a scandal, a lawsuit, and absolute chaos. But I'd also found love. Real, messy, complicated, beautiful love. And I wasn't letting it go. Not for anything. "So," Daniel said later, as we drove home through the city lights, "since this is real now, we should probably go on an actual date." "We're married," I pointed out. "Isn't that backward?" "Everything about us is backward," Daniel said cheerfully. "Might as well lean into it." "Where would you take me?" "Anywhere you want." He kissed my knuckles. "The world is yours, husband." "I just want you," I said honestly. Daniel's smile was soft and genuine. "You have me. For as long as you want me." "Forever then," I said. "Forever," Daniel agreed. And driving through Los Angeles with my accidental husband who'd become my real love, I knew that sometimes the best things in life were the ones you never saw coming. Sometimes you had to get drunk married in Vegas to find your person. Sometimes love was fast and crazy and made absolutely no sense. But it was real. And that was all that mattered. The end.